season-ending injury for Fred VanVleet. He is out with a torn ACL.
That's a big L for them.
Realistically, if they go move somebody, they got to move one of their young pieces now to get a point guard.
Every time Kevin Durant joins a new team, it feels like the basketball gods strike back. Brooklyn, Phoenix, and now Houston. The Rockets hadn't even played a single game with KD in uniform when disaster hit. Fred VanVleet, the floor general and leader of this squad, goes down with a torn ACL during a routine workout in the Bahamas. Just like that, the Rockets' dream season might be cursed before it even begins. And let me make this crystal clear. Fred VanVleet isn't just another guard. He was the adult in the room, the steady hand keeping all the young stars locked in. He kept Alperen Şengün focused, guided Amen Thompson into becoming a future Defensive Player of the Year candidate, and made sure Jabari Smith Jr. was always in the right spot. Losing him isn't a minor setback, it's catastrophic. The timing makes it even more brutal. Houston just pulled off what many called the biggest trade in league history by landing Kevin Durant. They gave up Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, and a haul of picks, but in return, they finally added a proven superstar to a young core that had already finished second in the West last season with 52 wins. They were supposed to enter the new year as legitimate title favorites. Instead, the so-called KD curse has already struck again. Because this isn't the first time we've seen it. When Durant joined the Brooklyn Nets, the most talented offensive trio in league history, KD, Kyrie, and Harden, only played 16 games together. Durant lost his first season to the Achilles, Kyrie couldn't play home games, Harden's hamstring gave out, and eventually the whole team imploded. Swept in the first round, the dream was dead. Then came Phoenix. KD joins up with Booker, CP3, and Ayton, only for the roster to get gutted and rebuilt around Bradley Beal. The Suns had the most expensive payroll in NBA history, yet the results were a disaster. Coaching changes, locker room meltdowns, and a humiliating sweep at the hands of Minnesota. At one point, Phoenix was so desperate they were quietly shopping Durant at the deadline. Now it's Houston. On paper, Rafael Stone has built something special. Şengün locked up on a bargain contract, Jabari Smith Jr. extended on a team-friendly deal, Dorian Finney-Smith signed to replace Brooks, Clint Capella and Steven Adams reunited with KD. The Rockets didn't just add Durant, they added him to a core that already looked like the future of the West. But without VanVleet, the conductor of this orchestra, all of that balance could collapse. Fans are already joking about the KD curse, calling it karma for joining the Warriors back in 2016. Others say it's just bad luck. But history tells us the pattern is real. Wherever Durant goes, something major goes wrong. Houston was supposed to be different. Now the question is, can KD finally break the curse, or are the Rockets the next super team to crumble before our eyes?
Ask the other 29 GMs. 26 of them would trade their whole team for our whole team and our draft picks and everything as is. The house is not on fire. We're in great position. It's not hard to fix. It's not like we're like, hey, we don't have enough talent to win a championship. We have enough talent to win a championship. How fixable is it? And if I read the media, I would think we have a lot of problems. But luckily, I get to spend time with the best players in the world, in my opinion.
If you ask the other 29 GMs around the league today, at least 26 of them would swap rosters with the Houston Rockets in a heartbeat. Young stars, veterans, draft capital, this team has it all. And yet, despite what the media screams, the house is not on fire. The Rockets aren't broken. They're in position. They've got the talent to win a championship. The problem? They just lost their floor general, Fred VanVleet. And now the question becomes, who's running point on a team built to win it all? Even Kevin Durant himself, always the lightning rod, defended his legacy on Twitter when fans blamed him for Brooklyn and Phoenix falling apart. His words? None of it's my fault. No, not a single thing you can blame on me. And if we're being real, he's right. He averaged nearly 30 points in Brooklyn, almost 27 in Phoenix. He did his job. He showed up. He hooped. But here's the catch. Curses don't care about box scores. Stats can't erase the pattern that follows KD. And now in Houston, the Rockets have to make a decision that could make or break their championship run. Let's break down the options. Option 1, Reed Shepherd, the Rockets' prized rookie taken 3rd overall in the 2024 draft. He's supposed to be the future. The kid averaged just 4.4 points as a rookie and shot 33.8% from deep. He's learning, adjusting, finding his rhythm. But imagine throwing him straight into the fire. lining him up next to Kevin Durant on a team with championship expectations. That's like handing a kid who just got his learner's permit the keys to a Formula One car and telling him to race Max Verstappen. The potential is there, but the timing, way too soon. Option 2, Aaron Holiday, a steady hand, a 7-year veteran who's carved out a niche as a backup. Reliable, mistake-free basketball. He won't lose you games, but here's the issue. He won't win you games either. And when the lights get bright in the playoffs, when you're facing Jamal Murray, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or Luka Doncic across the floor, safe isn't enough. Houston didn't bring Kevin Durant in to play it safe. Option 3, Amen Thompson. Now this one's interesting. Amen is a freak athlete with defensive instincts that are already elite. A legit Defensive Player of the Year candidate who can guard 1 through 5. You can trust him to lock down stars. But offensively, he still struggles. Shot just 31% from 3 last season, 3 points and 6.1 assists off the bench. In 36 starts, he put up 15.3 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. Not vintage Russ, but still a dangerous player. Still a spark plug. Still a competitor. And think about the narrative. Westbrook and Durant reunited for the first time since 2016. This time with Steven Adams by their side again, just like the old Thunder days. It would be a full circle moment. 2 rivals turned veterans, putting their pride aside for one last shot at glory. There's only one problem. The Rockets don't have the cap space. They're currently sitting just $1.25 million below the first apron, which means they can't just sign a free agent outright. They'd need to make a trade, move some salary, and restructure the roster. But if they want to chase a storybook run, if they want to make the most of Durant's final years, maybe it's worth the gamble. Because let's be honest, this isn't about numbers anymore. It's about legacy. Durant will turn 37 in September. Westbrook is in his mid-30s. Both know they don't have many shots left. Houston already has the pieces. What they don't have is someone to steer the ship. The question is simple. Do you trust the kids, roll with a backup, or take the wild swing and bring back the man KD once swore he'd never team up with again? History says the KD curse always finds a way. But if Westbrook and Durant bury the past to chase one more ring, that curse might finally meet its match. Russell Westbrook is 36 years old. At some point, even the most stubborn competitor realizes the clock is running out. You only get so many chances to chase rings. But here's the thing. Russ coming off the bench for 20 minutes a night, running the second unit while Kevin Durant rests, and maybe closing games when Houston needs a burst of energy or extra playmaking. That doesn't sound like the worst idea in the world. Add Steven Adams into the mix, and suddenly, the nostalgia hits. Durant, Westbrook, and Adams, those Thunder teams from a decade ago, weren't just good. They were dangerous. They reached the finals in 2012, won 59 games in 2014, and pushed the 73-9 Warriors to 7 games in 2016. The chemistry was there. The bond was there. And then, of course, KD left and joined Golden State. That wound never fully healed. But now, with time, age, and perspective, maybe the basketball gods are giving them one last shot to run it back. Even if Westbrook comes, though, even if Reed Shepherd makes the sophomore leap, even if everything breaks just right, something feels off about this whole situation. The Rockets had it all lined up perfectly. They had a clear defensive identity under head coach Ime Udoka, who just signed a massive extension that makes him one of the highest paid coaches in the entire NBA. They had the perfect balance of young talent and proven veterans. They had depth at every position. After the Durant trade, national outlets were calling them the Western Conference's newest nightmare. One outlet even said the fit was nearly perfect. KD at a low price, Houston's ceiling at an all-time high. This was supposed to be the year where it all worked. But now the Rockets are asking a 36-year-old Durant to take on an even bigger burden than originally planned. They're asking Alperen Şengün to be the team's half-court playmaker. They're throwing young players into roles they might not be ready for. And here's the kicker. Houston can't just hit reset if it doesn't work. The Rockets are already over the luxury tax. Fred VanVleet is making $25 million this year, even though he won't play. Durant is eligible for a 2-year, $122 million extension. Amen Thompson becomes extension eligible next summer. The window isn't just short, it might literally be this season. If things go wrong, this roster won't be the same by next year. The financial bill will come due, and when it does, this core could be broken up overnight. And if that wasn't enough pressure, take a look at the Western Conference. The Thunder are coming off a championship. They're young, they're hungry, and they match up perfectly with Houston's style. Denver still has Nikola Jokic in his prime, just added Cam Johnson, and brought back Bruce Brown. The Timberwolves? They still own the league's best defense. The Warriors reloaded and added Jimmy Butler to their mix. And the Mavericks? They drafted Cooper Flagg, one of the most hyped prospects we've ever seen. And once Kyrie Irving returns, that trio of Flagg, Anthony Davis, and Kyrie, plus Klay Thompson spacing the floor, looks terrifying. This isn't the kind of conference where you can stumble out of the gate. Every contender is stacked. Every team is gunning for the throne. Houston doesn't have time for growing pains, and that's why the Kevin Durant curse looms larger than ever. Say what you want about curses, but every time KD joins a team, something catastrophic happens. In Golden State, he ruptured his Achilles in the finals. In Brooklyn, the most talented trio in NBA history imploded in less than 2 years. In Phoenix, the Suns became the most expensive failure in league history. And now, in Houston, the Rockets lost their starting point guard before training camp even began. So the questions pile up. Can Houston overcome the curse? Can they find a point guard solution that actually works? Can Durant stay healthy for 82 games and the grueling playoff run? Can Udoka manage egos, expectations, and injuries all at once? The season tips off in less than 6 weeks. Fred VanVleet is scheduled for surgery this week. Time is running out. The Rockets need to act now, whether that means making a trade for a veteran point guard, clearing the books to bring in Russell Westbrook, or betting it all on Reed Shepherd's rapid growth. One way or another, something has to give. Because right now, it feels like the Kevin Durant curse has struck again. And this time, it didn't even wait for opening night. 80.